Hi everyone, Michael Smith here. Although my own focus has been on numerology, I recognize it's not nearly as popular or mainstream as astrology. Almost everyone knows their sun sign, for instance, but few know their life path number. Not that it's a popularity contest, as whatever resonates with each of us does so for a reason. Still, despite both numerology and astrology having been around for thousands of years, and both based on the idea of energetic archetypes or themes we can experience, astrology has captured a broader audience for a number of reasons, I believe. First, astrology is very visual and easy to picture as a cohesive cycle of signs, houses, and planets rotating around us in the center, and with helpful little images, symbols, and relationship lines depicting everything. Whereas numerology is more abstract and obscure as a bunch of numbers and calculations. After all, most people liked art in school more than math class. Second, astrology has always been structured around the Base-12 cycle, which many, including myself, believe is the true fundamental energetic structure of reality and the spiritual cycle of enlightenment. Whereas numerology has traditionally been applied to the Base-10 system, the same arbitrary decimal system used today, and which I feel has lessened the accuracy of numerology, and all of science in my opinion. To me, using base 10 is like ignoring 2 of the 12 signs and houses in astrology, and ignoring 2 months of the year, which would be absolute lunacy. Sorry for the pun. And third, astrology provides a finer level of detail than numerology, and therefore a more precise snapshot of our energetic status at any point in time. That's because astrology takes into account not only the date of an event of interest, such as our birth, like numerology, but also the exact time the event occurred and its geographic location. Further, an astrological chart shows how we are influenced by the entire solar system, while a numerology chart just focuses on our own energy independent of outside influences. Still, one thing numerology can do that astrology can't is determine the energy of names and words based on the numerical positions of the letters in the alphabet. Now, it may sound like I'm singing the praises of astrology and trashing my own field of numerology, but not so. Although astrology provides greater detail, it is much more complicated to learn and interpret than numerology. They are simply 2 different tools approaching energy from 2 different angles. Numerology on how our birth date and name resonate with the outside world, and astrology on how the outside world resonates with us at the time and place of birth. As both offer unique insights for navigating our lives in an authentic and fulfilling way, it would be great if they could be applied together as a unified system. The purpose of this video is to show how numerology and astrology can indeed be aligned and utilized together in a complementary way, through the lens of Base-12. So let's begin by looking at the similarities and differences between astrology and Base-12 numerology, my adaptation of traditional Base-10 Pythagorean numerology to the Base-12 cycle. First, both systems begin with the same fundamental idea of a cycle of 12 archetypal themes, which energetically imprint on us at birth as the unique personal vibe we carry. These 12 themes represent the full cycle of experiences we can encounter in navigating any activity, from relationships to projects, careers, or entire lifetimes. Base-12 numerology assigns those 12 themes to the numbers themselves, 0 to 11, whereas astrology assigns them to 12 signs, 12 houses, and 12 planets and luminaries, if you include Pluto and the asteroid Chiron. In other words, where numerology follows the Base-12 number cycle of mathematics, astrology follows the actual Base-12 behavior of the sky, of 12 monthly laps of the moon around the Earth per each annual lap of the Earth around the sun, which is no doubt another reason why astrology has more fans. It seems more tangible and based in reality than numerology. Also, where numerology looks at the numbers of our birth date and birth name, when letters are given numbered positions in the alphabet, astrology looks at the positions of the planets, zodiac signs, and houses relative to our time and place of birth here on Earth. Again, giving astrology a more detailed focus than numerology. Astrology enhances that level of detail even further by breaking down the 3 basic characteristics that define the personality of each sign: its element, quality, and polarity. The 4 elements of fire, earth, air, or water describe a sign's basic temperament, either energetic, grounded, social, or perceptive. The 3 qualities of cardinal, fixed, or mutable describe its mode of expression, basically assertive, sustained, or adaptable, while the 2 polarities of male or active or female and receptive describe its orientation. In numerology, the 2 polarities of astrology likewise apply, of male active to the odd numbers and female receptive to the even numbers. However, only in Base-12 numerology is each number's theme fully described like it is in astrology. This detail is provided by the geometry of the Base-12 prime vibration, the double helix vibrational pattern that the Base-12 cycle makes when expressed over time, and covered in depth in my other videos. This geometry includes each number's magnitude or vertical range of expression, which has 4 sizes: as a point, like at 0 and 6, a small amplitude above or below the neutral axis, like at 1, 5, 7, and 11, a medium-sized amplitude above and below, like at 2, 4, 8, and 10, or a maximum amplitude above and below, like at 3 and 9. Next, its proportion relative to the neutral axis has 4 types: a point strictly above or below, in a 2-to-1 ratio, or a 1-to-1 ratio equally above and below. Next, its charge has 3 types: positive, negative, or neutral, and its direction of spin has 12 directions: up, down, towards us, or away, and all intermediate angles in between. In fact, these very same vibrational properties are what defines the 12 fundamental particles of quantum physics: their probability amplitude, electrical charge, angular momentum or spin, and their polarity, matter versus antimatter. As such, the Base-12 prime vibration not only provides numerology a visual blueprint to finally see how the numbers work together, but also connects numerology to nature's actual Base-12 cycles, as in astrology, albeit at the fundamental quantum scale of numbers as vibrational states, rather than the cosmic scale of planets and stars as vibrational bodies. As such, Base-12 levels the playing field between numerology and astrology, making it just as visual and connected to nature's actual cycles. And now that astrology and numerology are speaking the same Base-12 language, let's see how the 2 systems correlate when it comes to the major elements of your birth chart. Here's a selection of some of the more important pieces of information that your birth chart in astrology provides, along with their related counterparts in numerology. Your rising sign or ascendant in astrology, the sign that was rising over the eastern horizon at your time and place of birth, and your life path number in numerology, your date of birth, both represent your life purpose and the major theme you're here to explore. The planet that rules your rising sign and your expression number or birth name in numerology both represent the direction your life is steered in pursuing your purpose, basically your calling. Your rising sign and its ruling planet together equate to your maturity number in numerology, the sum of your life path and expression number, and your focus later in life. And just as your rising sign and its ruling planet are considered 2 of the most important elements in astrology, your life path and expression number are the 2 biggies in numerology. Your sun sign, the sign the sun was in at birth, relates to your personality number in numerology, the consonants of your birth name, which represents your outer self and how you appear to others, how you shine. In turn, your moon sign, the sign the moon was in at birth, relates to your soul number, the vowels of your birth name, which represents your inner self and emotions, and how, like the moon, you reflect the sun's light back to you in a changeable way. And because the consonants and vowels together comprise your full birth name, your personality and soul numbers added together equate to your expression number. So in practical terms, the more you embody both your outer persona and inner feelings in a balanced and authentic way, the more fully you can express your true identity. Your Saturn return, the 30-year cycle of the taskmaster planet Saturn returning to the sign it was in when you were born, and which gives you a shake to be more responsible, disciplined, and focused, corresponds to the start of your second growth cycle, or your birthday, and the daily focus needed during your working years, as well as the start of your third growth cycle, represented by your birth year, around the age 60, when your perspective further matures and broadens later in life. Likewise, signs with no planets in them at your birth are related to what are called karmic lessons in numerology, number energies missing from the letters of your birth name. These are themes you'll find foreign to you and thus challenging to learn. These correspondences between astrology and numerology help show how these two systems are more compatible than most people think. Still, these are not to be viewed as exact correspondences, as again they represent different things. Numerology as the vibe our name and birth date projects, and astrology as the vibe imprinted on us by the universe. So, don't expect complete agreement between your astrology chart and numerology chart, but rather interpret them together as a broader picture of you. That said, there's a couple of remaining inconsistencies we still need to address in order to fully align astrology with Base-12 numerology. These include which signs should start the astrological year, and how best to align signs to houses in terms of theme. In astrology, the annual cycle of the zodiac traditionally begins on the spring equinox with the sign of Aries as the first sign, and ends with Pisces as the 12th sign, with each sign having a distinct style of its own, shown here in the left column. Each sign also has a ruling planet which feels most at home in that sign, given here in the right column, as well as a house or area of influence in which that sign most naturally plays out, shown in the center. Now, the signs and houses represent all the possible themes and areas of life we can experience as a complete Base-12 cycle of learning, whereas the planets determine which particular signs and houses we experience and when. As each planet has its own archetypal character or role, this role takes on the style of any sign through which it passes and expresses that stylized role in any house it visits. This is why the planets, including the sun and the moon, are the most important part of astrology. They are what brings your chart to life and tailors it to you based on your specific time and place of birth. The planets I've shown here are those typically recognized in modern astrology. As this only includes 10 luminaries and planets, 2 of them play double duty as rulers of 2 signs, Mercury for both Gemini and Virgo, and Venus for both Taurus and Libra. As such, the planets themselves do not represent a Base-12 cycle per se, but rather a variety of personality types for the signs and houses to respond to. As our focus here is on the Base-12 structure of the signs and houses and how to align them to Base-12 numerology, we can move on from the planets, but I just wanted to clarify that they are what activate the Base-12 themes within astrology. So now let's bring the Base-12 numerology cycle into the picture. Like the signs and houses of astrology, the number themes of numerology represent the complete cycle of experiences and learning we can have, from the 0 of potential to the 11 of illumination. And when we compare the 12 house themes to the 12 number themes of Base-12 numerology, here the second and third columns, we see that they actually do match up well. The first house of self, identity, and appearance aligns with the number 1's theme of new beginnings. The second house of self-worth, possessions, and survival matches the number 2's theme of duality, and so on. However, when we compare each sign to the house it's considered to have natural rulership over, the first and second columns, their traditional pairings are a little misaligned in my view. Specifically, the theme of each of the signs seems to better match the house theme 2 houses down. For example, the influential and expressive sign of Aries, traditionally associated with the first house, that of self, identity, and appearance, is actually a better thematic fit with its third house of self-expression, while the third sign of Gemini and its social adventurous vibe better matches the 5th house of creative energy, pleasure, and children. Similarly, stable and dedicated Taurus better aligns with the 4th house of foundations, home, and family than with its traditional 2nd house of self-worth and possessions, while the 4th sign of Cancer and its loving, caring nature better matches the service, health, and provider focus of the 6th house, and so on. In fact, I suggest all signs should be shifted down by 2 houses for best alignment with each other and with the themes of numerology. The numerology cycle from 0 to 11 further suggests that the entire sequence of signs and houses should begin with Capricorn as the start of the zodiac rather than the end. That's because in numerology, 0 and 12 represent the same theme of potential, the 0 starting potential of one cycle and the 12 ending potential of that cycle and starting potential of the next, just as 12 a.m. is both the end of one day and the start of the next day. As Capricorn is all about the unrealized potential of pursuing goals and its matching 12th house of the unrealized areas of our life, of our hidden self, mystery, and limitations, Capricorn, with its cusp occurring on the winter solstice, the shortest or most unrealized day of the year, is a more logical start of the energetic cycle than the traditional view of Aries in the spring equinox. Here's what our realigned astrological cycle looks like once all the signs are shifted down by 2 houses and everything reordered to start with Capricorn and the 0 theme of potential. You may want to pause the video here for a moment to check for yourself how each sign, house, and number theme are better aligned when viewed in this way. That is according to the Base-12 cycle of numerology. Now, before I'm declared a heretic by you astrology buffs out there for trying to tamper with tradition, this minor realignment doesn't affect the structure of the astrology chart at all, nor the placement of planets within signs or houses. It just changes which house or area of influence a sign and its ruling planet most naturally fall within. What this realignment does do, however, is to put the 6 of love and the loving sign of Cancer where it belongs, at the very heart of the Base-12 numerology cycle and the midpoint of the astrological year, at its maximum illumination of the summer solstice and longest day of the year. Coincidentally, even the glyph symbol for Cancer looks just like 2 6s embracing, of the 6 of love experiencing itself through the 2 of duality, of masculine and feminine imbalance, of the giving and receiving of love. Perhaps a little intuitive clue hiding in plain sight of love's central role in astrology. Thus, beginning at 0, Capricorn, and the hidden potential of what lies ahead, it's through the more physical and personally focused themes from 1 to 5, of Aquarius through Gemini, that we search for love, at the 6 of Cancer that we discover and embody love, through the more spiritual and collectively focused themes from 7 to 11, from Leo through Sagittarius, that we expand and illuminate love, and then returning to 0, Capricorn, with greater wisdom. This illustrates just how compatible astrology and numerology actually are when properly aligned, with every sign, house, and numerology number having consistent meanings across the board, and according to the same universal cycle of experience and growth, from the 0 of unrealized potential through to the 11 of illumination of what we learn, and then back to 0 with new questions to explore in the next cycle. Or, to use an analogy, if astrology is a stage on which you as the actor in a one-person show play out your life, your birth date is when the story begins, your birth name is who you truly are, the planets are the different characters you play, the signs are the style of how the planets are to act, the houses are the scenes where the planets perform, and the numerology numbers are what themes are explored as the plot develops. And finally, a great performance that's rewarding for both you as the actor and the audience looking on is the why. Let's now put pictures to the words to better visualize how astrology and Base-12 numerology work together. In the upper left is the Base-12 number cycle from 0 to 11, and to the right, the vibrational expression of prime numbers generated by that cycle, what I call the prime vibration. Immediately below are the 12 number themes of Base-12 numerology, each with its own theme and colored frequency based on its unique geometry within the prime vibration. Again, that geometry includes each number's vertical magnitude, its proportion and polarity relative to the neutral axis, and its direction of spin relative to us as observers. So in essence, each number's theme is what those vibrational qualities feel like. And because we are a physical, spiritual embodiment of the prime vibration, as is everything else, We can resonate with any or all of those 12 themes, and which numerology and astrology helps us decipher. Below that multicolored spectrum of themes are given the 12 rotational increments of the base-12 cycle, which creates the prime vibration itself. Basically the side view of the vibrational pattern at each of the 12 positions. And because we have already aligned the zodiac signs to the numerology of the 12 numbers, we can label each number with its corresponding sign. Note how the position of each of the little colored arrows matches the correct position of its sign in the zodiac. The pink arrow of Capricorn is at the top of the cycle where the winter solstice occurs, the orange arrow of Aries at the left with the spring equinox, the green arrow of Cancer at the bottom with the summer solstice, and the blue arrow of Libra at the right with the fall equinox. Note how the number energies of numerology can be considered the start or cusp of each of the 12 signs and houses. As such, each number energy is most pronounced and most purely felt at the very start of each sign or house, and then starts to blend with the next one as it approaches its cusp. For example, Aries' archetypal 3 energy of influential cause and effect in equal balance is most purely felt on the spring equinox, the cusp of the Aries sign of equal day and night, and then becomes increasingly Taurus-like as it approaches the 4 energy of structure. Note too how the 4 most important turning points or cusps of the seasons, the solstices and equinoxes, occur at the 0, 3, 6, and 9 positions of the base-12 cycle. Indeed, these are the nodes and antinodes of the base-12 vibration itself, the 0 of potential and 6 of love being the still points or nodes of 0 amplitude, and the 3 of the catalyst and 9 of completion being the antinodes of maximum amplitude. The arrow's orientation within the base-12 cycle for each number further reveals what each solstice and equinox means on an energetic level, including the zodiac sign and number corresponding to those milestones in the year. The pink arrow of Capricorn pointing completely away from us imparts that sign and the number 0 with a sense of distant possibility and unrealized potential, while its projected geometry, that of a mere point illuminated in the upper half of the cycle relative to the lower half in darkness, corresponds to the winter solstice being the least illuminated day of the year, with the northern hemisphere of the Earth tilted away from the sun. Next, the orange arrow of Aries, pointing fully down, imparts it and the number 3 with a sense of downward force and influence, while its projected geometry, that of the upper illuminated half and lower half of darkness being equally projected, corresponds to the spring equinox of equal day and night and with 0 tilt of the Earth's axis relative to the sun. In turn, the green arrow of Cancer pointing directly towards us imparts it and the number 6 with a powerful inward sense of closeness and connection, of love, while its projected geometry, that of the upper half fully illuminated versus only a point in the lower half of darkness, corresponds to the summer solstice as the most illuminated day of the year, with the northern hemisphere tilted towards the sun. And last, the blue arrow of Libra pointing directly upward imparts it and the number 9 with a sense of positive momentum and completion, while its projected geometry, that of equal light and dark, corresponds to the fall equinox of equal day and night and 0 tilt of the Earth relative to the sun. The rest of the zodiac signs and numbers between 0, 3, 6, and 9 are imparted with their own respective energetic qualities in the same manner. Now, the significance of 3, 6, 9 is likewise mirrored in the manifestation cycle of human life itself, of conception through the 6 of love at the energetic climax of summer, so to speak, completion of pregnancy 9 months later, the 9 of completion, and then with an encouraging push of the 3 of the catalyst, birthed into the sunlight of spring. Even the Earth's 3rd position within our solar system resonates with that catalytic 3 energy of a fertile Goldilocks zone, of not too hot and not too cold for liquid water, a sustained atmosphere, and life to emerge. Also, notice how the colored vector arrow within the base-12 cycle, again that which represents each number's energy and which creates the prime vibration itself, represents one side of an equilateral triangle, essentially two planetary energies, which are 120 degrees or 4 signs apart in astrological terms. When that triangle is completed by a third planet, this is called a trine aspect, considered the most harmonious and favorable aspect in astrology. Perhaps not surprising then, this triangular geometry also represents the merging of the 3 primary colors of the Base-12 cycle, of red, green, and blue, which creates the most harmonious and enlightened state of white light, or in terms of number themes, the green of love gaining the blue of awareness through the red of duality, and which I believe is our prime purpose for being here, of love gaining awareness of itself through polarized experience. So the takeaway from all of this is that through the Base-12 lens, astrology and numerology are just different vantages of the very same underlying cycle of 12 vibrational themes, universal themes through which everything physical and emotional can be experienced and felt, and everything mental and spiritual explored and enlightened. So whether you're into just astrology or just numerology, I encourage you to dip your toe into the other, to appreciate how the two systems together can indeed reveal more about your journey than either can do so alone. Thanks so much for watching.